Renewing the mind. The other morning I saw a dead body being carried away to be burnt. It was wrapped in bright magenta cloth and it swayed with the rhythm of the four mortals who were carrying it. I wonder what kind of impression a dead body makes on one. Don't you wonder why there is deterioration? You buy a brand new motor and within a few years it is worn out. The body also wears out. But don't you inquire a little further to find out why the mind deteriorates? Sooner or later there is the death of the body. But most of us have minds which are already dead. Deterioration has already taken place. And why does the mind deteriorate? The body deteriorates because we are constantly using it, and the physical organism wears out. Disease, accident, old age, bad food, poor heredity, these are the factors which cause the deterioration and death of the body. But why should the mind deteriorate, become old, heavy, dull? When you see a dead body, have you ever wondered about this? Though our bodies must die, why should the mind ever deteriorate? Has this question never occurred to you? For the mind does deteriorate. We see it not only in old people but also in the young. We see in the young how the mind is already becoming dull, heavy, insensitive, and if we can find out why the mind deteriorates, then perhaps we shall discover something really indestructible. We may understand what is eternal life, the life that is unending, that is not of time, the life that is incorruptible, that does not decay like the body which is carried to the ghats, burnt, and the remains thrown into the river. Now, why does the mind deteriorate? Have you ever thought about it? Being still very young, and if you have not already been made dull by society, by your parents, by circumstances, you have a fresh, eager, curious mind. You want to know why the stars exist, why the birds die, why the leaves fall, how the jet planes flies. You want to know so many things, but that vital urge to inquire, to find out, is soon smothered. Is it not? It is smothered by fear, by the weight of tradition, by our own incapacity to face this extraordinary thing called life. Haven't you noticed how quickly your eagerness is destroyed by a sharp word, by a disparaging gesture, by the fear of an examination or the threat of a parent? Which means that sensitivity is already being pushed aside and the mind made dull. Another cause of dullness is imitation. You are made to imitate by tradition. The weight of the past drives you to conform, toe the line, and through conformity, the mind feels safe, secure. It establishes itself in a well oiled groove so that it can run smoothly without disturbance, without a quiver of doubt. Watch the grown up people about you, and you will see that their minds do not want to be disturbed. They want peace, even though it is the peace of death. But real peace is something entirely different. When the mind establishes itself in a groove, in a pattern, haven't you noticed that it is always prompted by the desire to be secure? That is why it follows an ideal, an example, a guru. It wants to be safe, undisturbed, therefore it imitates. When you read in your history books about great leaders, saints, warriors, don't you find yourself wanting to copy them? Not that there are not great people in the world, but the instinct is to imitate great people, to try to become like them. And that is one of the factors of deterioration because the mind then sets itself in a mold. Furthermore, society does not want individuals who are alert, keen, revolutionary, because such individuals will not fit into the established social pattern and they may break it up. That is why society seeks to hold your mind in its pattern, and why your so called education encourages you to imitate, to follow, to conform. Now, can the mind stop imitating? That is, can it cease to form habits? And can the mind, which is already caught in habit, be free of habit? The mind is the result of habit, is it not? It is the result of tradition, the result of time, time being repetition, a continuity of the past. And can the mind, your mind, stop thinking in terms of what has been and of what will be, which is really a projection of what has been? Can your mind be free from habits and from creating habits? If you go into this problem very deeply, you will find that it can. And when the mind renews itself without forming new patterns, habits, without again falling into the groove of imitation, then it remains fresh, young, innocent, and is therefore capable of infinite understanding. For such a mind, there is no death because there is no longer a process of accumulation. It is the process of accumulation that creates habit, imitation, and for the mind that accumulates, there is deterioration, death. But a mind that is not accumulating, not gathering, that is dying each day, each minute, for such a mind there is no death. It is in a state of infinite space. So the mind must die to everything it has gathered, to all the habits, the imitated virtues, to all the things it has relied upon for its sense of security. Then it is no longer caught in the net of its own thinking. In dying to the past from moment to moment, the mind is made fresh. Therefore, it can never deteriorate or set in motion the wave of darkness.